It's time for Hidden Millions. Okay, what does that mean? It means you can look around this very second, whether you're in your living room, the bathroom, the kitchen, your bedroom, wherever you are, I promise you can find $1 million idea that will change your life. Lisa Lloyd found hidden millions just fixing her hair one day and came up with the French twister. She didn't spend a lot of money getting it off the ground. Now she's here to help you open your eyes to hidden millions. Lisa, first of all, how many hidden millions did you find?
Overall, over the years, I've done about 30 million in retail sales.
30 million!
Yeah.
And let's go to that magic moment, because what we say on the show is, if you're paying attention to your day, if you're paying attention to the problems you have, issues you have, if you have a problem, there's a solution, there's $1 million idea. Give me your moment where you found your hidden millions.
I had been hearing for months from my friends how much they liked my hair in a French twist, and I was watching a show with another inventor talking about how successful she was, and I thought, she can do it, I can do it. So I went in my bathroom and I started cutting up barrettes and hangers and trying all different kinds of things. On one of my barrettes, even cut up a toilet paper roll. And
we got to stop you there. Wasn't there, okay, you want to do a French twist, or, and weren't there products that were doing that?
At the time, there were no tools. This is 15 years ago.
Okay.
So at the time, there were no styling tools to help anybody put their hair up in a French twist. I did find out later someone came out about the same time. Of course, we didn't know about each other because we were on opposite ends of the country.
Okay, so you're sitting there going, wait, I got a problem with my hair. And tell me how you start to build this contraption. This is one of the early, what is this actually?
It is. That is a hanger. It started off looking like this.
So this is what, once again, guys, start $30 million later, hanger. This is what you use, $30 million. So you take this and did what to it?
I cut it up. In fact, the one that I used had the foam on the side, you know, it comes back from the dry cleaner. And so I cut it up into that U, and I wrapped the foam around it because I thought that would help keep the stray hairs from falling out. And I tested it, and it worked.
The final concept is what?
It's now a plastic piece, because when I went to manufacture that, I found out I didn't really know how. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I started calling factories and found out that it would be easier to injection mold and a lot less expensive.
Okay,
so,
I want to go back to your life, though, before we get into building this thing, because you got the 30 million bucks later, starting with this little hanger here. What were you doing at the time?
I was working at the CBS affiliate in Tucson, made $13,000 a year, single mom.
Single mom, selling ad space, 13 grand a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So life was a little bit of a grind.
It was very, very tight. Yeah, driving a car that I was, you know, praying before I got in, God, is it going to start today? One of those. Yeah, it was a very difficult time.
And this comes along, changes your life.
It did change my life. I couldn't have known it at the time. I had no idea what it was going to do.
So how would you know? That's why I want to kind of pinpoint, because I think sometimes people don't know it. So you're driving a beat-up car, you're making 13 grand a year. All of a sudden you say, hey, this is a good doohickey that I figured. How did you go from that to where you are now while still keeping your job? You didn't know anything about manufacturing, you didn't know anything about licensing. So take me from the moment you said, doop, I got this, to how'd you blow it up, how'd you keep your job, what'd you do?
Well, I have a theory, so to speak. When I hear no, I don't hear no, I hear not that way. So every time I tried to do something and the answer was no, that's not going to work, it didn't mean stop. It meant, okay, that's not the right way. So I started looking like I did with the hanger. When that was too expensive and it was going to be cost prohibitive, because I knew people weren't going to spend a lot of money for a barrette to put your hair in a French twist, I started calling manufacturers and asking them, what's the method? Back then we didn't have the internet. It wasn't as easy to find solutions to your problems. So I let my fingers do the walking. You remember the old phrase, you're in advertising. Yep, and so every time I'd call someone, they would tell me what I needed to know for the next step. I didn't need to know the big picture, I just needed to act on what I knew at that moment. And as I moved forward, it unpacked the next moment, which unpacked the next moment. And just like you said, I lived in each moment, moment by moment, until 13 months later, I had my first check for $20,000. And
the premise of the show tonight is you don't need $1 million to start a multi-million-dollar business. You started with what? What was the investment?
I started with zero.
Zero?
Absolutely no money. It cost me nothing to pick a hanger up. Cost me nothing to pick up a banana clip I already had. And then I asked my mother for a little bit of money. She gave me a couple $100s, and I sold my car when it came time to actually manufacture.
How much did you sell the car for?
But I was way into the process by the time I spent any money.
How much did you sell the car for?
$500.
$500, you got 200 bucks from your mother.
I got a tax return.
Tax return, how much?
Altogether, we had about $1,000 when all was said and done.
$1,000 $30 million later.
And can I say this, Donny, too? You know
what?
You
can say anything you want, because you are the epitome of what the show's about. So if you want to talk political views, you can say anything. What would you like to say?
Well, one of the things that I learned was if it didn't cost me anything when I didn't have money, why am I going to start spending money just because I have it now? So I still look for other creative sources. If I can do customer financing, if I can use another tax return. I don't get tax returns anymore now. I pay the taxes. It's changed. But I don't even mind that.
That's good. The bigger the tax check, the more money you're making.
That means I made a lot of money.
I love it. Well, Lisa Lloyd, she's the inventor of the French twister. She found the hidden millions, and she did it just starting with a few $100. I don't want any excuses for anybody. You're sitting in bed, put the nachos down, start focusing. You will find the hidden millions. More big idea. Straight ahead.